Hey there, this is the One Boom, and we're continuing with the Black Ops 6 beta content. Today talking about attachments, pros and cons, and some issues that I can kind of see coming up throughout the game's life cycle if certain things aren't changed. We're going to be talking about my personal preference when it comes to create a class and how this actually might be a bit of a regression for Modern Warfare 3. Just bear with me. Actually, let's talk about that right away. Why do I think this is a regression from Modern Warfare 3? Well, when I go to play the new Call of Duty and I'm immediately missing something from the last game, that's not normal. In my opinion, I should be so swept up in the new game that I'm not thinking about the old game, but Modern Warfare 3's Create a Class and Gunsmith, while flawed in several ways, is way more engaging than what Treyarch's offering here. Granted, this opinion is subject to change with the full release of the game and having everything unlocked. Obviously, right now, I'm only level 20 and I haven't had the chance to max level any guns in this game because the weapon leveling is painfully slow. So yeah, it goes without saying, this is subject to change. This is not a grounded, set in stone opinion. But Modern Warfare 3 brought us the gear and vest system, which allowed us to essentially pick a better version of the basic training system from COD World War II, where you pick a vest, which is a preset of perks and abilities, and then you pick gear that complements it, or maybe, you know, fills in a gap that the vest doesn't to make yourself more versatile. Regardless, it was a way to completely dictate your own playstyle. Do you want to focus on stealth or resilience? Do you want to focus on being the countermeasures guy, the pistol guy, the melee guy, the stealth guy? You know what I mean? Like, it was very playstyle defining, and then your gear was up to you. You want to be a stealthy slayer, stealthy camper? Do you want to be a stealthy street getter? Do you want to be resilient street getter, resilient objective player, resilient camper? You could just really, you know, if you really dive into Modern Warfare 3's Create a Class, there's a lot of variety and there's a lot of freedom. It's like wildcards and basic trainings had a baby in Modern Warfare 3, and it's kind of sad to me that we've, in my opinion, regressed here with Black Ops 6. BO6 has some great ideas, but going to a 3-perk system where if you combine 3 of the same color you get a single specialty is not what I would consider better than the vest system, because the vest system was you picking your specialty and then deciding which pieces of gear or perks are going to accompany that. To me, it's kind of frustrating that I don't get a perk for running one of each color of perks, or a bonus for running 2 blues, 1 red, or 2 greens, 1 purple, or whatever. There's no purple, but you know what I mean. There's no way to really flex this. You can run all blue, all red, and all green to get your specialties, or you can miss out on a specialty by having more versatility, and that's pretty stringent. It's pretty basic. It doesn't feel very engaging. Now, I do like the idea that you have to have a wild card because you can either have perk greed or overkill or whatever, I think Warlord, whatever they're going to call it, that gives you more attachments for gunsmiths, so you can have a full 8 attachment weapon. That's awesome, and I look forward to playing with it. Don't get me wrong, this video isn't me saying I hate the game and I don't like making loadouts in it, but it feels regressive. We also haven't progressed past 1 lethal, 1 tactical, 1 field upgrade, except for the fact that now we have a specialty, which again is just a boring version of the vest and basic training systems from previous COD games, and a dedicated melee slot, which I do like. The ability to swap to a melee weapon for a opening rush or something on every single one of my classes is game-changing. If I want an SMG and a sniper rifle, and then I still want to have a nice opening rush, I can swap to my knife and do that. But let's get into our primaries and secondaries here. All of our attachments are full of pros and very low on cons, and that sounds like a good thing. Pros are good, and I think that's where a lot of people are getting stuck. They see that the things are better for the gun, so they think that it's a better system than the complicated 6 cons, 6 pros thing that we had in Modern Warfare 2 and 3. I kind of disagree though. So on the one hand, yes, it's great that all the attachments are just pretty much net bonuses to the weapon. But unfortunately, that means that the base weapons aren't very good. Using a base weapon in this game feels kind of dreadful. And that makes sense. They'd have to balance the game that way. If all of the attachments are net bonuses, then the guns themselves don't really get to excel without those bonuses. In Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 2019 and even Vanguard, because of how messy the gunsmith system was, I felt like they balanced that by making the base guns very, very good, because some of the attachments could downright F up your gun. Also, Call of Duty is a pretty simple game, and when it comes to replayability, loadout creation and customization is becoming a big part of that, and it's always been a big part of Call of Duty. Call of Duty's main selling point since COD 4 is that you dictate your playstyle through your series of loadout choices, and that is amazing. And what I like about Modern Warfare 2 and 3 is you can fuck up. You can ruin your gun's ADS speed, ruin your gun's idle sway, aim walking speed, and while not every attachment was well balanced, and MW3 was a clusterfuck, it was bad. It was really bad when it came to being a refined, balanced experience because of how much stuff was there. So don't get me wrong, I know that. But it is more interesting to build a loadout in an environment where you can F up the gun versus an environment where you can't. If I'm just making my gun aim down sight faster, have a faster rate of fire, have a larger magazine, have a nice optic, and have a suppressor with no downsides, then that's not very mentally engaging. My gun aims fast and is off the radar and has a clear sight picture and more ammunition. Bada bing, bada done. Taking into consideration everything in Modern Warfare 2 and 3 was engaging. Now, tuning was a bit much, or you go back to Vanguard, maybe 10 attachments was too much. There's always been a little bit of bullshit. Like in Modern Warfare 3, they had all the carryover attachments from the COD game previous, and a lot of those attachments weren't balanced properly. So you had a lot of useless filler attachments, you had a lot of attachments that were copy and paste that didn't need to be there, and a lot of aftermarket attachments that were added during the lifecycle of MW3 that blow the default attachments out of the water and become absolute crutches. Yes, I know this system is flawed, but a flawed system that's engaging to play with long term is, well, going to be more engaging to play with than a system where I just make my gun finally better. Using a bad weapon and then slowly unlocking things that makes it better isn't an inherently bad concept, but in Call of Duty, I kind of started liking the I can mess up my gun feeling. I don't know, finding cool combinations and making interesting off-meta loadouts or finding a new meta loadout for yourself is more interesting in an environment where you can fail, and Treyarch kind of took that away from us. I think we've honestly regressed here when it comes to Create a Class and when it comes to Gunsmith, and while I am excited to play with it, and I do like sort of that refined, more clean style they're going for, and there will be some ways to probably mess up our weapons and to create interesting combinations, I just feel like I'm missing something here. Back during Cold War, their gunsmith system was so clearly rushed that it didn't have the proper pros and cons and interesting changes to gun feel that would happen when you selected certain attachments. So I was less engaged when selecting those attachments and customizing my weapons, and I'm getting that sort of feeling now. Again, this game I think is doing a lot better than Cold War across the board when it comes to this. This is still just worth pointing out to me because, well, frankly at the end of the video, I'm going to say something really harsh. I am sick of Call of Duty not embracing their better ideas. We've had customizable kill streaks in one Call of Duty game. We have had a point tier perk system in one Call of Duty game. I'm talking about the Call of Duty Ghost perk system. We have had really good ideas used once. Like, it took an insane amount of time for Sledgehammer to bring back the concept of basic trainings in a way that worked. And we've never seen the Call of Duty Ghost system refined. We've never seen AW's customizable kill streaks refined or the ability to add streaks to our custom classes again since Advanced Warfare. Like, there's just so much that I would love to see happen that isn't happening. This is another year of lethal tactical field upgrade, and I don't exactly love it. The vests broke that system up a bit, and this seeks to sort of cement it. I don't want this system cemented. I also want to point out we haven't seen the Black Ops 1 system return, where you have lethal, tactical, and then a piece of equipment that you can place anytime you want by pressing on the D-pad. I mean, we also haven't seen a perk 1 that changes the aesthetic of your character and the ability to change face paints, but whatever. Black Ops 1 was ahead of its time, what can we say? It's sad that I do not have a new innovative Create a Class system to sink my teeth into this year, and I had to make a whole video sort of whining about it because it feels worth whining about. And they're not talking about aftermarket parts or anything like that in any of their coverage of what the game's going to be like, so I don't even think we're going to have what Modern Warfare 3 had, where they'd add new weapons and attachments and conversion kits that drastically shook up the game, or at least gave us something new to dink around with. MW3 was an unrefined clusterfuck of a game, but it was also sort of an impossible game. Modern Warfare 3 was a remaster, a direct sequel, an expansion pack, and just its own damn new Call of Duty game all in one. And it's really sad to go from that messy, lovable clusterfuck to something that is so busy trying to be refined that it's not taking any risks. And you know, it's really sad that it's not taking risks, because I think that Black Ops 1 shook up how we do create a class, then Black Ops 2 really shook it up, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, these games shook up what it meant to make your class and customize your playstyle. And it's kind of weird that now Treyarch has just resigned themselves to this. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.